Alright, new update. I got a few summons. Let me take a look if they actually did anything to him. If they nerf him or something. Yeah, they didn't do anything to him, so he's still OP as hell. I'm just gonna get one copy of him. If you're not in a rush, or if your Falsetto ranking or any other PvE rankings aren't jeopardized by not getting him, then you can wait for the next info release. But if you're getting less rewards per day because you're missing PvE rankings, then definitely you should 100% go for this guy. But it's always best to wait if your ranking isn't jeopardized. I'm still gonna go for him because I think he's really fun. Last multi. I'm gonna save the rest of my crystals for the bootleg market. Yuhime. I mean, I think Yuhime is fine as well, but it could be better. Now let's use the rest of my elemental records. I'm gonna use the Inferno one first, and then I'm gonna use the PT on the flow record. Alright, one last multi on the flow records. Hopefully I can pull a legendary right here. Ooh, let's go! Broke PT by like 45. If I get him through summons, I don't need to spend wish stones because right now I'm kind of broke. Oh, what the hell? 5 Johns in a row. Shang. No! Ollie is like R20 at this point. Yeah, I have 188 wish stones. Not bad. Let's go ahead and get the Neo unit.
Through strategy, victory is assured.
Alright. He doesn't need any resonance. He works, the best at R0. But obviously, more resonance means that he's gonna survive better. His R2 is also not bad, because now at the start of combat, your team can't be debuffed for 3 stacks. And I don't think I'm gonna max out his skills as well. I'm gonna save my abilimons for the new Liling. Let's bring him into our first boss, Sonica. So I'm gonna be running this team. He works fine in this team because he does provide the safeguarded buff, which protects your teammate from debuffs other than incapacitated. Again, the problem with R6 Elif against Sonica is that when Sonica attacks you, she puts buff blocker, which can ruin your run. And this time I've also made him fast with the Astral set because you want to take as many turns as possible, so that whenever he S1, Elif is also going to pursue the attack with her S1, and then also counter set. Nothing has been changed. This is the only unit that I changed. He might be able to run in Team 1, but it's a little bit difficult because there's too many crucial units to run in Team 1. Hayley can't be replaced. She's just way too good with her debuffs, with her, equipment sharing mechanics. Ooh, nice. 109 first try. And already we're reaching almost 30, what is that? That's 40 million. 40 million Team 3. That's already more than my best run on that team. My best run on that team is 30 million, by the way. I'm already reaching 40 million. Alright, I don't care. I'm gonna break my high score today. Okay, it can be a bit of RNG. Sometimes the team dies out. There we go, 112 million. Almost breaking my high score. Oh, okay. This team kind of goes crazy as well. Another 40 million team. But this time I'm running Era. I'm trying out Era because when you run Shang with the DPS, you want the DPS to be fast as well, so that they can get a bunch of turns and get the stacks in, right? So by running Era, the Besingement's Watch is at the end of an ally's turn, the carrier's AP plus 15%. And this is not an ally's turn, by the way, it's an ally's action. So whenever Feng Shun does a pursuit attack with his S1, or whenever my allies counter attack, that's gonna AP boost Elif by 15%, and it doesn't have a cap. It can proc multiple times within a single turn. So sometimes Elif can go from 0% to like 60% AP from all of the pursuits or all of the counter attacks. It's pretty consistent to score above 30 million for this team. Oh my god, 129 million! This is R2 Liam! 130, damn near 130 million with R2 Liam. Oh my god, 40 something, what is that? 41? What is this? What? Oh my god. Yo, Yo, that's crazy. Ain't no way. Guys, if you're not convinced this guy is a must summon, then let this video show everything to you. My average Team 3 score is already better than my highest. Look at this. Look at this average. 40 million average. My average Team 3 score is already better than my highest Team 3 score before this guy was released. How insane is that? Almost 40 million again. Right, I'm just gonna do one last run and then I'll switch back to Sachiko because I want to see which one is better. I think Era is still better in this case because your Elif is getting many more turns. Okay, this is with running Sachiko. The average is about the same. This time Daji is doing a little bit more damage. Oh my god. Okay, we broke the high score once again. 131 million. What? 50 million Elif! Am I tripping? What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 50! 60 million in this team! Hello? What? My team 3 is doing almost the same damage as my team 1. What the fuck? 60 million! I'm gonna try to run Era once again in some of the other bosses, but for now, since this 60 million is right in my face, I'm just gonna take a look at the run. In Sonica, he doesn't really need any skill ups because Sonica does this thing where she enters that, stance mode and she resets your cooldown, right? No matter what his cooldown on his S3 is, whenever Sonica goes into that state, it's gonna go back to no cooldown. So you don't need any skill ups on him. And his S3 is not useless in Sonica because whenever he casts it, it's going to give your allies that buff that protects them from 1 debuff for 3 stacks, right? And I'm also running him and Daji on the Astral set because you want your allies to take as many turns as possible when it comes to Elif, because it doesn't really matter if your allies take the turns from Elif because she's gonna pursuit attack with her S1 and S3, right? But with this guy in the team, it kinda does affect it a little bit because you want Elif to get turns in so that she can get stacks. And the stacks is really OP. It's 10% attack and 10% damage increase per turn that the ally takes. So it doesn't increase when Elif is doing all of this counter attacks or pursuit attacks because she's not getting a turn. She's only doing an action. Whereas Sakura, her R6, it doesn't matter where you take a turn or when you do an action. Either one of those is going to increase the stack. So Sakura is better in that department. But Shang is just insane in PvE areas because his numbers are just way too good. And my Feng Shun is also getting a cooldown reduction every single turn he takes. So he's going to be AP pushing my allies more frequently. Unfortunately, Sachiko cannot be cooldown reduced. So she's only here to provide the crit rate up and also the cooldown reduction to my Feng Shun and my Daji as well. Look at that. Elif is doing 1 million damage on her pursuits. Okay, Elif took a turn. Now let's see how much her pursuit is gonna do. She has 0 stacks of bafflement, so her damage is still at 100%. 500,000 without any seer debuff or without any of the stacks, fervor stacks. Alright, now with Daji's debuff and with seer debuff, let's see how much the S3 is gonna do. 500,000 S1, 700,000 on S3, 1.3 million with the total combo. What is these numbers, man? I'm surprised he didn't get nerfed because when Xuanpin was released, her amplify buff or her horse buff, if you guys didn't know, was 100% damage amplification. So essentially doubling your damage, right? Whereas this guy is providing you 100% attack and 100% damage. This guy quadruples your damage. Oh my god, Elif is doing 1.4 million, 1.5 million at this point. Look, 639,000, 936,000. Oh my god, bruh. It's really important for your DPS to have 0 stacks of bafflement, so their damage is not reduced. My Daji has 0 stacks, my Elif has 0 stacks. That's perfect condition. One thing I would like them to improve is tell us how many stacks the unit has. I don't know, maybe just put a counter at the top right of the buff or something, because that's a bit annoying to keep track of how many stacks of the buff it is right now. Oh my god, Elif is doing 1.29 million with her S3. What the fuck? And this is not max stacks, by the way. In order to get max stacks, you need to take a turn. And Elif is naturally slow, right? You want her to be built slow so that she can have more offensive substats, so that your allies can take a turn and then she does the damage. But since she is slow, she's never going to get the max stacks unless you run a unit like Era. Yeah, again, keep in mind this is a 60 million Team 3. The highest Team 3 I've ever seen in Sonica. That isn't Team 1. Let's try to run this guy in Shadowfire. Alright, I'm going to be trying out this team. I've removed Chuyao from the team and add in Era, because I think Era might be better in this case, just to turn cycle like crazy. Shuanpin will be on this set, Sloan on the Thor set, and then Fatum Sisters for the speed lead and also the speed buff. That's Era, that's Liam, lastly Lu Shang. I have 2 units on the Harmony set so that I can keep the uptime 100%. Let's do like 3 blitz. My current highest score is 111 or 114 150 million! Oh my god, 174 million! This guy's OP. It took no effort at all. No effort at all, and I'm already scoring. I'm just gonna do 10 blitz. We'll see what happens. Yeah, this is definitely gonna increase my PvE rankings by just getting this guy R0. I think for today, this is the 2 bosses I'm gonna showcase. I think he's gonna be very good for Shadow Glow as well, which will be in a different video. The other Shadow bosses, I don't know if he's runnable, because he's gonna get petrified, so he's not gonna cast his S2. Unless there is a bug right now where you can cast his S2 in those bosses, then it's gonna be the best support for those bosses as well. But again, Era is really good with this guy because she's getting a lot of speed. She's getting the cooldown reduction per turn. She's not a controller, she's a support. So her cooldown gets reduced by 1 turn every single turn that she takes. And her S2 and S3 is really good, especially for Desolate Lands, where there's no turn limit, right? You can go as many turns as possible. And Era allows for that. So look at my Shuanpin and look at my Era, and just how crazy her turn cycling is. It's like unlimited. Because whenever my allies take a turn, that's gonna AP boost them by 15%, and the buff lasts for 2 turns. Now the reason why I'm putting Shuanpin on the top left, because Era's mechanic is that her priority on her S2 is always going to be on the guy on the top left, unless one of your units is debuffed. So if the Fatum Sisters is currently debuffed, her S2 is going to prioritize the Fatum Sisters. But I want her to prioritize the buffs on Shuanpin, so that Shuanpin can constantly cast her S3, so my allies can get the Chariot buff more often. The Chariot buff is also really OP in this game. It's a 50% flat speed increase. So if you have 300 speed, it's going to give you 150 speed for 2 turns. And it's separate from speed buff as well. So if you have speed buff, which is 30% increase of speed, that's 1.3 times. And then if you have the Chariot buff, it's an additional 1.5 times. Look at the score right now. 6.9 million with 18 times multiplier, and it's still climbing. Very close to 10 million, 9.5 million. Look at Sloan's damage, 168 million. My Shadowfire went from 0.1% to rank 18. And yeah, that's it for the showcase for now. This guy is definitely a must summon, but once again, it is always best to wait. If your rankings isn't jeopardized, you know, your PvE rankings, your daily rankings, your Falsetto Fantasy rankings is still the same without getting this guy, then you should definitely wait for the next info release. But if your score is getting lower and lower and you're getting less rewards per day because of this guy's release, then you definitely want to summon for him. But yeah, that's about it. Ciao. Excuse me? Hello? What am I looking at? What am I know the video has ended, but I just tried a few more runs in Sonica. What the fuck? 63 million! Guys, if you're not convinced this guy is a must summon, just look at this. I went from 124 million to 160 million on Sonica with R2 Liam. If I had R6 Liam, I'm reaching 200 million score in Sonica. I'm ranked 4 with R2 Liam. What is this unit? Oh man, that's it, I'm done.